Perfect. Okay, I'm just gonna post it in Discord, and then I'm just gonna requote it, and you can do the same, Kev, in between.
Let's go.
Whilst we wait for people to tune in, dude, if we hit 2,000 people today, um, we'll see.
Easy.
Because
Easy.
dude, we've been saying that even in our community, right? There's an inside joke that if we hit 2K, if we ever hit 2K live views, then I'm gonna get a tattoo of my plushies. So, I mean,
You're
could
gonna
happen
tattoo
today.
your. Okay, okay. Well, then
Yes,
I'm gonna
yes,
even
yes.
use a notification in our Discord. Let's push it, man.
Let's fucking go. All right, I'm pushing it on Discord, and then I'll push it on my X account as well.
Right, I gave it a good push. Here we go. They're coming. They're coming.
Let's fucking go.
Starting to go.
Abstract coded. Let's fucking go.
Like this music. It was like a long day. Many meetings today. Close my eyes and meditate a little bit.
So many meetings, hey? Like, I feel the same. Like, but honestly, this lo-fi channel that we have, it's low key there. Like, it's been on YouTube for quite a while, but it's so pleasant, hey? Like, just, lo-fi. Everyone loves lo-fi, and this animation was done by Cole, by the way. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. But yeah, all right. The news is out. I even tested yesterday a little bit on on X, mentioned like who do you guess is gonna be joining us today, and yeah, I'm just very happy to have you here with us today. But yeah, let's just give it a few more minutes and then we can start. Okay, maybe one more minute, and then we can start. Let's check the chat. GM. Alrighty, I think we can. 268 people so far. Let's do it.
Okay.
Just gonna get rid of this, and then let's wait for Cole to start prepping everything. But in the meantime, GM guys, we have another epic live stream with obviously the talented Cole, and today we have a very special guest with us today. You probably know who this guy is. I don't feel like he needs a proper intro. He's been grinding for a very, very long time. And as you guys know, we're both building on Abstract. We're kind of hyped, I would say. I'm so happy for these guys, to be honest. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. I know that you guys could have been anywhere else. But yeah, without further ado, GM Kev, how are ya? How are you today, sir?
Yeah, GM, I'm doing well. I've waited a long time to have somebody say this guy doesn't need an introduction. Famous saying they say about people that have achieved stuff, and yeah, kind of honored to hear that, man. Feel like we've just done like a little part so far. So yeah, a lot of more work to do.
Honestly, I feel that way, and I'm truly genuine when I say that, because if I mean people who are familiar with you before being familiar with the brand, right, without being familiar with Final Bosu, I believe that they've seen you as at least people who've been grinding with us or being in the trenches during the bear market, right? Um, so I mean, for me personally, I've seen you on spaces. Doesn't matter the size of the space, but I've seen you everywhere, right? For the past couple of years or so. So for me to be able to, even when we had our one-on-one convo a week ago, um, I was like, this is long overdue because I feel like we've known each other for quite a while, and even the way that you are building your company, your project, it resonates a lot with how we are, building the Plooshies as well. And when we had that combo, I'm like, dude, how come we didn't have a one-on-one combo before, or even have chat on spaces or whatever, because we have so many friends in common as well. But yeah, I truly mean it when I say that you don't really need a proper intro anymore. Obviously, like us, this room for improvement. But yeah, I'm just very happy to have you here with us today. I know that you've been quite busy, bunch of meetings, bunch of spaces. So I really want to thank you for taking the time to be here with us today. Um,
Of course,
yep.
man. After our last call, and during a call, I realized you guys are hardcore builders, and so obviously, I've seen a lot already happening online, but I always love to talk to people and to get to know people for who they are, and
Mm,
um, I think that's always when you hear the story of somebody and the grind you guys went through as well to come to this place.
yeah.
That's what I truly resonate with. So no, like same to you, brother. Like I think you guys are crushing it, and you're working very hard on creating something. Ultimately, starting a business in whatever space is extremely hard, and so
Yep. Yep.
I just
Yep.
respect the hell out of it. I know how many iterations you guys had to go through, without
Mm.
without knowing it. I just know it because I know what it takes to get to the quality that you guys are delivering as well. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I truly appreciate that, Kev. But look, I really want to start this live stream. Honestly, like we don't really have an agenda or whatever. Like we just want to talk about anything. We want to get to know you, Kev. Obviously, we want to get to know Final Bosu as well, like what you're building over there with your team, with your brothers. Obviously, we can talk about that down the line. And in the meantime, I feel like Cole is having a little bit of issues, but hopefully he'll manage to fix his Wi-Fi or whatever. But he's gonna create something very special for you. Uh, for people who don't know, Kev, he gave me two illustrations related to their IP. Uh, Cole will be creating an honorary plushie for Kev. This is a way of plushifying the space for people who've been supporting us, who perhaps you don't really need to own a plushie, to be honest, as long as people keep supporting us and we love what you guys are doing. We really want to plushify this space and be like, hey, Cole can create something pretty epic for you whilst we have our convo. So sometimes we could be yapping and maybe people won't even pay attention to what we're doing because they will truly be paying attention to Cole. But hopefully he'll be back. In the meantime, Kev, tell me who is Kev? How long? I mean, how long you've been in the space? What were you doing before joining Web3? Um,
Sure.
who's Bosu Kev? Like,
Bozu,
'cause who's Bosu Kev? Yes, yes, yes.
yeah, Bozukev is the new person since the last couple of years. Before that, I was just Kev. I've actually joined this space. My first NFT was the Dutch Pound that I bought a couple of years ago when they just launched. I came
Mm-hmm.
in through it through Alex Becker, one of our
Right.
top people in the space.
Yep.
Saw a
Yep.
post of him on Facebook. I was already in crypto for a long time before that, but saw his post and he was like, "Buy this Dutch picture," and I was like, "All right, I'm just gonna do it." And the thing just kept on going up, and I was like, "Wow, I like these NFTs, right?"
Good
Um,
tech. We love the tech that goes up only, right?
yes, I love those.
Good tech.
It was great, man. I was like, "Wow, this is the easiest way I've ever made money. You just put money into it, just keeps going up." I was like, "What the hell? This is great, right? Don't have to build a business any longer."
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, but all jokes aside, before this, I'm originally from the Netherlands, moved to Spain when I was about 19. Um,
Oh, ¿hablas
so-
español, Kev?
sí, también. Bueno, no
Ah,
muy bien. Bueno, no muy
ah,
bien, pero
ok,
sí,
ok.
sí, yo hablo.
No, no, pero mira que te entiendo perfecto cuando hablas español, ¿eh? Muy bien.
Gracias. Ya estoy practicando, seguro. Mi hijo habla mucho.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
Oh, perfect. Then yeah, maybe we can yeah, we should chat a little bit in Spanish once we get to meet each other at Paris.
Oh,
I'd love
yeah,
to
I'd
hear
love
it.
to, man.
But yeah, awesome. Look, this is what I love about getting to know people, right? Like the little things that people don't really know. Because I mean, people get to see us on spaces or writing posts or whatever, but getting to know the person behind the PFP and the project. I think that's pretty cool. So that's a little bit of a fun fact for you guys. Kev knows how to speak Spanish. His son knows how to speak Spanish even better than him. Um, but yeah, sorry about that. Continue, mate.
No, no worries. Yeah, so I moved to Spain actually. Started a marketing agency. We've done Facebook and Instagram advertising for local businesses
Okay.
and really we're growth partners. So we actually assisted them on like their whole sales process, right? I basically done like all the sales for our own agency. Took thousands and thousands of sales calls. I invested a lot into coaching, and um, I've been coaching myself a bit as well. Started an own coaching group and a Facebook group. Did a whole program for other agencies, and really did that for about 6 or 7 years, where I was really like partners with dentists from all over Spain, restaurants from all over the world, and really, trying to help them grow their business. Like sometimes it was even like going further than just advertising, but actually installing like systems and trainings, and
Yep.
really develop myself in sales. I think sales is one of the most important skills that one can learn, right? Because ultimately
Mm,
it's just effective communication to get somebody to see your perspective and
100%.
to
Yep.
to step into the world, because your world view might be a lot better for them, right? And sometimes they don't see it. And I think true sales is actually helping someone. So it's a beautiful, beautiful skill. So did that up until about 3 years ago, when my brother texted me, and we just started in the Web3 space, and he was like, why don't we hit our other brother up, and we're going to do
Mm,
something in this space, because there's so many amazing artists that are just flourishing here and getting so much attention and getting
yep.
the
Yep.
respect that they deserve for the work they do, right? And so that's really when Basu Kev was born, and we came up with the idea of Final Basu, and then never looked back, man. Just started working on it, and just iterating, building the initial community out, and um, 3 years later, I can almost believe it.
Yeah. three
It's
years. That's crazy though, because I mean, to be honest, it's kind of like a meme, yeah. But like, time in Web3 is so different, mate. Like, three
yeah,
years, honestly, for you guys, for you and your brothers, must feel like a decade or so, because things move so incredibly fast. Things change from one morning to the other,
yeah,
which is wild. I wanted to ask you, when you mentioned that it was you, then your other brother, and then you needed to convince the third brother.
yeah.
Was it hard to convince them to like see the opportunities that Web3 can provide for? I mean, your brothers are the artists behind the project,
Yeah,
right? Both of
yeah,
them, or
correct.
just one?
Yeah, especially my oldest brother. Well, I guess at first it just started out as a let's just create some art, right? But fairly soon we
Mhm.
realized that if we wanted to do this serious, it needs focus. And so we all
Yep,
had our own businesses. Like I had a marketing agency that was running well, right? Like
yep, yep.
I was producing revenue every month. I was taking care of my family. My oldest brother had a business called Manga Yourself. He was drawing art for people from all around the world. My other brother had a whole course that was literally generating almost passive income every single month. And
Nice.
it was more like, let's leave everything behind and stop it all and jump into a whole new business, right? So that was tough. That was a difficult decision, but I think if you focus, if you want to do something really good, like it really requires your attention and focus, right? And so,
Yep.
um, with a bit of time, it just kind of naturally progressed, and we actually are with four founders. So we have John, who's the founder of Slingshot DAO, and
Okay. So there's four in total.
there's four in total founders. Yeah, and
The
it's
three
kind of
the three
funny.
siblings, like the three musketeers, plus what's his name again? John? Did you say John?
John, yeah, is
Yeah, right.
Twitter.
Okay.
Twitter is NFTs or bust, and it's kind of funny how we met him,
It's a good,
right?
it's a good handle.
Yeah, and he's an OG in the space, man. Like,
Mm,
this is even for anyone that maybe looks funding or things like that, because this was very interesting when we wanted to start in the NFT space. We were like, okay, we need some type of funding, right, to be able to get this thing going.
yep.
And
Yep. Yep.
so I'm really of the mindset that if you want to start into a new industry and your business is just starting, one of the best things you can do is networking, because you need to get to know people, right? If
Yep.
you don't know
Yep.
anyone, like you can't open up doors, or you don't have access to anyone, then it's going to be really hard for you. So
Mm,
I was like, okay, who should I speak to? And I watched a video of Gary Vaynerchuk and
Okay.
who was it? There was a he was speaking to someone, one of his first interviews about NFTs, right? And so I
Mm.
texted the guy that basically was
You
interviewing.
texted Gary V.
I texted the guy that interviewed Gary, right?
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yep.
And I was like, dude, I saw you had this interview with him. I see that you're big in
Mm.
NFTs. I'm just starting in this industry. Like, would you mind to hop on a 5 minute call? I just want to ask you some questions, you know? And he was
Yep.
like, yeah, sure, let's jump on. So we
Oh,
did. We
nice.
talked for like an hour. He explained me a lot about the space. And in the end of the space, I told him, listen, we want to create something with anime, Japanese. We're going to start brainstorming the concept. And he was like,
Mm.
I think you should speak to Sasha. And then he gave us a different name, right? So I was like, all right. I reached out
Okay.
to the Sasha guy. And the
Mm.
Sasha guy was actually in that time a creative director or something at John's company, right? And so
Mm.
um,
Interesting.
he told me like, listen, we need some art pieces for a basketball player called Damian Lillard, a super famous NBA player. I didn't hear of him, but he was like, we need these art pieces done for him. Do you guys want to work on it, right? And so I actually then got on a call and I threw out quite a high price. And so John was like,
Mm.
who are you guys? You know, and I actually told him the brother's story. Like, we're three brothers, really want to do this business. And he literally just said, all right, I will give you the money, but I will give you some extra cash. And he gave us quite a hefty amount of money, right?
Oh,
And he
wow.
said, but what I want is I want to become the fourth brother, he said to us, right?
Nice. Yeah.
And so we're like, all right, let's take the deal. Let's, go hand in hand. Like, this guy also, has been an OG. He did like the
Yeah.
People token launch. He knows a lot of people. He has raised money from Animoca Brands. Like, he has so many things in the space in
Wow.
terms of network. So I was like, let's roll, right? And so, yeah, I guess what you can learn from that is I sent literally one message, hopped
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
two phone calls, and I got funding and a bunch of money in, right? That then could kickstart everything that we could do. So sometimes it's
That's
it's literally that simple.
That's honestly, it's honestly, it sounds so simple, right? It sounds so kind of easy in a way, but also, I mean, kudos to you guys, to you and your brothers, because I mean, yes, you somehow managed to convince these guys that jump on a call with you, right? And it
Yeah,
also tells you that networking in Web3 can be that easy. Like you're just one DM away or one text away, whatever you want to call it, but also you need to show something, right? And I'm pretty sure in those calls, whether it was just you or your brothers, you were able to convince someone as an OG person like John to be like, hey, I'm happy to fund you guys, but I want to be the fourth brother because I see the potential of the stuff that you're building. So that's amazing,
exactly.
dude. Like honestly, like kudos to you guys, and it's just kind of like a really good story on why you are where you are so far,
Mhm.
right? Like
Mhm.
people get to see like certainly the success, if you can call it that way, like quote unquote, but they don't really see the stuff behind that, right?
Yeah,
Because I'm assuming right after that, you had the fund that it was necessary for you to kickstart the company and then focus, I guess, in the first collection that it's final bursary, right? The 555. That, to my understanding, they're hand
yeah,
drawn,
yeah.
like all of them, not generative art or whatever. Like it was hand drawn. How did that process look like? I mean, I don't know if you were part of that creative direction or it was just your brothers. But when I look at your collection, right, like it truly resembles people, you know,
Yeah.
how they look like in real life.
Totally, totally, man. Yeah, I was definitely part of it all. It's definitely my brother's work, and so like my brother crafted like insane skill in just drawing people. Like, I think
Mm,
you can't grasp it until you see yourself as a character. Then you understand like,
yeah.
what the hell? Like, he actually captured like my soul. It's insane,
Yeah.
like how
Yep.
resemblance it is from you, right? And so
Yep. Yep.
um, yeah, we just knew we wanted to reward the community and really make it about them, right? And so
Yep.
we always felt like, let's just make it about our community. So we did 555 badges. People can choose to
Mm,
upload or not. So there's still this trading aspect to it, right? If you don't want to get uploaded, especially in that time, people didn't want to get doxxed. So a lot of
yeah.
people were like, this is never going to work because nobody wants to get doxxed, right?
This
But
was back in 2021, 2022.
yes, like nobody was
Okay.
doxxed. Like
Yeah.
literally
Nah.
no
Yeah.
one. It was everybody was against getting doxxed, right? People,
Yeah.
like, it was the normal thing. It was the narrative. It was the story that was going on. And so
Mm, mm,
um, yeah, but our core community loved it, right? And so we knew like this is super niched. It's
yeah.
not for everybody, and that made it beautiful because the people that were getting involved, they actually loved it. In the beginning, we did like 20 20 uploads every single week, and we did like this big review party. We hosted it on YouTube.
Nice.
Guys, here's your basu, and we created like animation videos and revealing them, and people would be
That's
live
so
there,
cool.
and it
Yep.
was really fun. Like we had a really good time with all those people, and yeah, it was the start of the journey before really building out the rest. Yeah, crazy times, man.
How, oh my god, I can only imagine how hard it could be, like the entire process, right? Because I just gonna give you, like, we did something similar, obviously not with the PFPs, right? But a very long time ago, it was pretty much in 2023. So we minted in 2023, Q1 of 23, and then we took the first snapshot of our top 10 holders. The reason why we wanted to do that is because we wanted to get their feedback so they can give us how they envision their mansion on Plooshy Island. So getting that feedback, it was just 10 people though, right? But even though it was really hard to like get in touch with them and kind of like get the feedback, because we really wanted to bring something special for them. And you
Nice.
guys did it with 555 people. Maybe not all of them, were like, oh yeah, okay, yes, I'm just gonna upload a picture of me so you can hand draw me. I would have done it, like no worries. I would have been like, fuck yeah, because it's something pretty unique. I don't think I've seen that anywhere else. Where people truly see themselves, like, yeah, you can commission art or whatever, like a PFP NFT collection. That's pretty unique. And I don't know what's the number of the people who agreed to upload their photo so they can get their
I think
hand
we're
drawn
about
picture.
150 or something now, 140,
Okay.
150 people. Yeah. We always had in mind to do a bigger collection. So the collection actually was like
Mm,
5K and a half, like 5,555. It was first. And
okay.
we announced that as first as well. And then later we were like, guys, what are we doing? We're like going to kill
That's a
ourselves.
lot of work,
Yes. Like
especially if you're hand drawing all of them. Yeah.
how is my brother ever gonna draw all of these
Yeah.
people? Like if everyone is gonna upload, we're gonna die. Like it's
Lol. Yeah.
impossible. We're drawing for the rest of our lives, right? Yeah, it would be crazy. So yeah, luckily we cut it in a tent,
Yeah.
and started smaller. Yeah, yeah, insane. Yeah.
And how did you handle that? I mean, once you started, I guess you were sending DMs or people who already got to know you guys, whether that be via John, for instance, being that kind of like the guy unlocking doors for you guys so you can get to, get in touch with people who got their PFPs drawn, or how were you handling the community first? Because obviously now it's grown exponentially, right? Like maybe 10, 20, 30x, I don't know. Because I
Yeah,
mean, 555 is not that many people.
yeah.
But then obviously now that you're going to be bringing something like a new collection to abstract, obviously we can talk about that later on. But how did you handle that process initially?
Like especially the community, or you mean actually the uploads, or just the community in
No,
general?
first the community. I'm kind of more interested in the community, and then we can talk about the uploads.
Yeah, I focused very much on I would say, a one-on-one approach.
Mm,
And actually, what we did really well in the beginning was, because with that collection, especially since it was so small, we did zero collaborations. We did zero, like we've done a few giveaways on Twitter, right? Back in
yep.
the day, it was always everybody was throwing giveaways left and right. And I think we've done like one on a page of some influencer guy back then. Uh, you know, uh,
Mm,
and I think we gave like maybe a few spots to like some smaller people to help us promote it, but like that was it.
okay.
And the main thing we actually did was we've built 5 mini games, like very simple mini
Cool.
games around
Okay.
division, like puzzles and things like that, right? And
Yep. Yep.
people would play it. Like you would play it, and every week we would select from the leaderboard. We will select people and give them whitelist, right? And so,
Mm,
and we had 5 different ones. And the first one, I don't remember exactly the sequence, but there was one about the 3 brothers and the backstory. There was one about the vision we had. There was one about
mm,
the uploaded people and the characters we were going to create, right? And so we really wanted to educate people while giving them fun, and that's just started to spread. And
mm.
we had a very tiny community. And I remember one day we had like maybe like 200 people in there for a very long time, for months, right?
Yeah.
And then one day I woke up and there were thousands of people in Discord, right?
Holy shit. Yeah.
And but the gate was closed, so they couldn't get actually into the Discord. So there was like
Okay.
just the channel.
Yeah.
Everybody was spun. I opened. My brothers were texting like, "Yo, what the hell happened?" Like what the hell is happening here? Like there's thousands of people in the chat, and everybody was like, "We found this project early. This is the secret room," But they could see that there were some people having roles or something, so they were like, "Oh, some
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
made it in, right?" And then I remember that the first time I opened the chat and I said, "Hi guys," and everybody went, "The admin is here." They went crazy. It was the first time I experienced like hype. And I was like, "What the
Yeah.
hell is this?" And apparently there were some alpha groups shouting us out, and it was in the end of the
I
blue
see.
one, so it was everything was
Yep.
just hyped within one message in a Discord, and you
And
were
that's
hyped.
it. Yep.
Like it was crazy. Um, and then we let all those people in. People started playing games, and then it just started snowballing. We're like, okay, just handing out whitelist, and then we just
Yep.
sold out the collection very, very fast, really in
Wow.
no time. And the great thing was that people were really there, and they were educated because of the games, and so that
Yep.
really teaches us how important education actually is, and showing the vision to people, and that really set that path for us. We were one of the first as well that were doing that, because everybody
Mm.
was kind of vague, right? It was all speculation and hype, and we were the
Yeah.
only ones actually speak. No, it's us. We're the three brothers, and we're showing our
Yeah.
faces. And people were like, "What the hell?" I was making daily videos like this in the garden, like, "Hey guys, my name's Kevin." I was just talking to the community. People were like, "What is this? Nobody does this, right?"
Yeah,
Um,
it's true. Yeah. Like even the experience
Crazy.
that when people join your Discord today, let's say that they need to watch your videos so you can educate them. There's a little bit of storytelling attached to that. And I think the way that you guys did it, you nailed it, right? I think you were a little bit ahead of your time because you were literally introducing, hey, storytelling, but also I'm educating the people who really want to be part of my journey with my brothers and how we're building the company. And then you can join, and also let's bring something fun to that. And then you create a mini games,
Yeah.
and it's literally like music to my ears because it truly, I mean, I told you this when we had a one-on-one convo, like it truly resonates with how we have a vision for the plushies,
Yeah.
because we did something quite similar, hey, in terms of like if people wanted to acquire a whitelist spot, they needed to play our mini games. We had a
Yes.
storytelling. We were introducing the main characters. They needed to join, well, not join, but go to our website, and there was this beautiful booklet where they could see the story of Victor the Viking and Penelope trying to find each other and playing the mini games and educating on them on what we can do, where we can go with this IP. And the fact that you guys did it obviously way earlier than us, and now that I get to know that story, it's like, dude, you were just ahead of your time. You nailed it perfectly. And yeah, so in terms
Why
of
did
like,
you guys create the main characters?
so the thing is with the plushies, right? There's not one main character. Let's
Okay.
say the penguin for the Pudgy penguins,
Yeah.
right? We have 11 different animals. Like we know
Yeah.
that people like different colors and flavors and such, but there's always going to be main characters within one main story, right?
Yeah.
And those two main characters are two siblings. They're meant to be siblings, which is Victor the Viking and Psychic Penelope. Obviously, they have other friends who are the other animals and stuff, and people really like that, right? Like instead of
Yeah.
being overly attached to, let's say, the main character, which in my case would be Penelope, which is a red panda, people see that, hey, there's other cute animals, so they can be like, oh, I will, I identify myself as a dog, right? Like if you look at my PFP, is one of the dogs out of the two, because there's like this Labrador and the other one is a Greyhound dog. So we went that approach and letting people know these are the main characters, but these are kind of like the supported characters. Some of them even have names as well. At the very beginning, we even created X accounts for them, so people can interact with them too. Um, as
Nice.
Marley. There's one called Marley. There's one called Cooper, for instance. The names that we were bringing to characters that we placed on Plushy Island that people were giving quests, right? Like even just real quick, the first iteration of Plushy Island, people hated the major of Plushy Island because he was such a fucking bastard. Like the way that we kind of trained him, he was meant to be like, I don't know, like very vocal, like very, I don't know, aggressive. So even when you went with him to ask him some stuff, he will respond to you like, he was not even the major, he was the proclaimed major of Plooshy Island. So we were just having fun with that. People really loved that experience, and we knew like storytelling is very important, not just for your characters, but also for the people who are behind the project, because there's also a story behind the people who are building stuff, right? There's a reason why we're bringing stuff to Web3, because perhaps we're bringing past experiences from real life that we want to bring to characters that we bring as NFTs, right? And in that sense, if people are not familiar with your story about your dad, I don't know if you want to talk about that, because I feel like that's that's amazing though. Like I love that every time that I get to hear that,
Hmm.
because people can obviously resonate with you and obviously with the story about your dad and the brand, and then we can move on into other topics. But yeah,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah, sure, man. Yeah, thanks for sharing. I'm always curious because I think a lot of brands in this space don't, especially IPs, don't even have names or yes, main
mm,
characters or even stories. Like there's usually like a lore, but not deep storytelling yet. So I'm always interested in
yeah,
that, right? A great IP has
even
that.
even with the Pudgy penguins, right? Like it's not that long ago that they introduced the
Yeah,
two
yeah,
penguins with different colors with names, so they can
yeah,
be storytelling behind that.
yeah.
It really tells you how important it is. Like no matter how late you are into the game, but like you and like us, we just wanted to do that from the very beginning.
Yeah.
But
Nice.
yeah,
Yeah, Final Basu really, we're always thinking very hard and long about the way we want to position this brand, right? And
mm,
um, I think, when I think about community, I really think about a group of people that believe in the same vision and also have similar values. And I think it's also a lot about culture. And so when we thought a lot about Final Basu, we were really asking ourselves, like, what's that culture that we want to shape? What is it that me and the brothers really stand for in our core, right? And so it was very an
yeah,
inner mission. And we actually came to the conclusion that our philosophy would be summed up in a short sentence, and we wanted to have something very short, like "just do it," like Nike, right? Or "think different" from
yeah.
Apple, right? And so for Final Basu, it's against all odds.
Against a lot. Yes, yes, yes.
And
Mm,
we want to turn this into a brand, right? It could be a street brand. It could be completely out of anime, even eventually, what we have as our
mm,
core medium. And I
yeah,
usually tell like a couple stories with that, my own personal story, but there's a strong story, yeah, around my father, right? The one that you mentioned. And
mm,
it actually goes like this, like, um, yeah, actually a couple years ago, about, I think now already 4 years ago, my father was 63.
okay.
Um, and he got the news that he only had 3 days to live. He was in the hospital,
Oh
and
my goodness.
yeah, he was suffering from heart problems for a very long time already.
Mm,
But it was just done. Like his body was giving up. He was not peeing any longer. The liquid was stuck, and he was essentially, I think, he was going to drown right into his own liquid.
oof,
That's crazy. And
wow.
so what's interesting is that if I look at his life story, when he was 9 years old, his own father kidnapped him. He's from Indonesia, from Java, a very small village, and his own father
Okay.
kidnapped him. One day, his
Holy
mom woke
shit.
up and he was just gone, right? And nobody knew where he was. And he brought him and shipped him all the way across the world to the Netherlands. And
Damn. Oh
so
my God.
yeah, it's crazy. And when I think of his life story, he kind of worked really, really hard all of his life, to build something up, to send money back to the village, built up a school. He built up a big house there, and he always had this dream that one day he would be back home. He would go with pension. He would be there again in his village, where his cores, his roots are, right? Because
Yeah, yeah,
he was just ripped away from it all. And so, but obviously, when he got to hear that he only had 3 days to live, it was impossible. Like he had to accept that he would never go back home, and he would never have that reality in his life, right? And so, I really think that I'm not per se like a religious person, but I
mm,
kind of feel like there was almost like a bigger purpose, maybe a deep sense of self awareness within him that was telling him in his mind, like, if you want to do this life good, like you have to go back, right?
yeah,
Uh, but yeah, obviously when you're going to drown, like the doctors will never let you fly. The family wouldn't even
mm.
agree. Like, why would you go? Like it's impossible
Yeah.
to,
The risk is too high,
it's
right?
too
Like
high. What if he
especially
dies in the
if you don't
plane?
know.
Like,
Yeah.
like there's so many risks. And so, but yeah, somehow, some way, the voice in his mind just kept on telling him that he had to go. And so, after a couple days, somehow convinced the doctors, convinced the hospital, convinced the airplanes, literally, that gave permission. And
Wow.
a week later, more or less, we stepped onto the plane, and we flew him into Indonesia back to his home village. And
Wow.
um, yeah, he reunited with his mom that just passed away a couple months ago, and but was still alive at
Oh,
that time. And
sorry
he
to hear
lived
that, by
for
the
a
way.
couple months more there before he, took out his last breath, and he got buried there together by his brothers. He's in a small village. I mean, like they bury like his brother buried him. Like it's not like
Yeah. Well.
you have a company that does that or
mm,
something.
okay.
And so, yeah, it's really his life story, that tells us that even in the last moments of life, life is still worth fighting for. If you truly have a
Yeah.
dream, or you feel like you want to achieve something, a lifelong dream that he actually had, even in the last seconds of life, that was
Yeah.
still his purpose, right? And I'm happy he could complete it. Yeah.
And I can totally see like even you dad thinking, maybe even if those weren't his words, but like against all odds, he was fighting for his life to achieve that dream, right? Like I want to go back to my village. I want to see my village again, because that was taken away from me, and he fought for it, and he
Yes.
managed to survive, which is, I mean, against all odds, right? I mean, I'm so happy
Insane.
that
Yeah.
he made it through, and it's just it's such an insane story, and I feel like you by telling this story, um, now you kind of want to bring a little bit of that to the stuff that you're bringing
Yeah.
and how you building community, right? Like even like for instance, what Cole is building at the moment is based upon a character that's based on your dad, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Uh,
Totally.
that's it's just insane, right? Like it's just a very cool way of
Uh,
honoring your
it's
dad's
what is
life.
interesting is that Sandy, in good storytelling, every main character has a drive, right?
Mm,
Like they
mm.
usually have a drive. They want to achieve something. There's something that is,
Yeah,
that happened in their life. And for Sandy, there's actually something taking away from him that he wants to get back, right?
right.
So it's he has the same drive, and it's not like he wants to go back to Indonesia, but it's
Yeah.
actually one of his favorite movies that were taking away from him, and that's like his drive in this world. But it signals that similar vision, and also yeah, his characteristics, things like that. I think good storytelling, um, yeah, is based on the, like, I had this conversation once with a very interesting person that you need to check out. His name is John Paulo. He built two VR experiences, or maybe three now, and the
Okay.
Oculus Quest. 3D. He did like a
Yep.
full cinematic 3D experience. It's called Nightmara, right?
Okay.
And it's about this little girl that's saving people from their nightmares. And
Oh, nice.
when he was telling that story, like we did an interview with him a long time ago, and we were
Mm.
talking about storytelling, and he worked in Hollywood. He did like all these big things. He was
Yep.
telling that if you tell a story, you need to rip your own heart out and really throw your gut on the table and put this into this
Mm.
story. And for example, in his storyline, there were like people from Hollywood that actually wanted to purchase him out of this brand, right? And he
Oh
felt like
shit.
they were all attacking him and trying to steal the idea away from him. And then
Yeah.
in the storyline itself, Nightmara, the girl, all the government and everybody's against her. And it's only because in his real life, he's reflecting that into the
It
story.
was
And that,
happening in real life. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
yes, and that's what makes the story really good, because it's
Yeah.
resonating, right? So that's
Yeah.
it's
I feel like I wanted to ask you in terms of storytelling because obviously now people who are familiar with Final Burst, they know how important storytelling is for you guys. Um, how do you handle that? Like, do you go into the same room with your brothers, with your creatives, and start drafting everything? You taking a bunch of stuff from IRL, from personal experiences and such, and even with the just real quick with the story that you were telling about Nightmara, like I feel like that's very important when you actually put something that you put your hat out, right? Like you
yes.
were saying, where people have perhaps similar experience and that they can resonate with that. How is that process of the storytelling? Because we've also, like, as part of the Plooshies, we truly consider storytelling very important for us. But I'm just curious, how does that process look like for you guys?
Yeah, good question. I think storytelling is almost like problem solving, right? And so
Interesting.
whenever you want
Okay.
to make something very interesting, you need to
Mm,
write story for it. And so we constantly came across certain problems, And when we write story, we use a process called blue skying. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. There's a masterclass from the Duffer Brothers who wrote
Okay.
Stranger Things, right?
Oh, okay.
They're the Duffer Brothers, super famous, and they have this master. Do you know Masterclass, like this brand that you can
Yeah, of
purchase?
course. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can purchase a lot of, yeah. There's so
You can,
many. Yeah.
yeah. And they actually teach that blue skying. And blue skying
Okay.
essentially is, if you want to come up with a concept now, you should just brainstorm and throw everything on the table, and try to see all of the most interesting things that you find interesting, and you put them all
Mm,
out. So if we look at this character here, right, and we need to come up with something interesting for him,
mm,
then we'll start to think, okay, what is like a type of animal that we have seen in different movies, maybe, or different shows, or we start searching for inspiration. Then I would say, it would be kind of funny if we would talk, right? Yeah, I like
mm.
that he talks. Would he be fighting? Yeah, maybe he's like a master in like karate. Yeah, it's kind of, and then you start thinking, there's this kung fu panda. Yeah, that's quite interesting. You start just writing it all out, right? And you just dump everything on the table.
Yeah.
For example, in the Final Basu universe, we have like these glasses, and they're connected to your temple, and they actually
Okay.
empower like your suitcase, and the suitcases give you special abilities. These things were originated from Dragon Ball Z, because in Dragon Ball Z they have like these power meters. I don't know if
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Okay.
right,
They
they
over
look,
9,000. Yeah.
I love those, right? You
I
can
know.
always see
Yeah.
someone's power, and I always wanted those when I was young. Like you could see my friend's power, like how strong everyone was, and so we loved
I
that
know.
idea. So when we started brainstorming, we're like, we love that, but how can we make it different, right? Because if we're going to take it over, it's kind of lame. So then when in the end we're like, it's like a full glass. Yeah, then it also has to do with VR. Yeah, that's dope. And then it's like a process, and I think you want to use that, but then apply it to certain problems that you have. So let's say, okay, we want to have this character that is created. It's really awesome, by the way. I love that you're creating Sandy there. So thank you, Cole, for your
Mm.
masterful work. It looks amazing. Love being able to see it live as well. Absolutely amazing to see him working here. But if we want to put him onto a website, or you want to put him on a wherever, in a banner or something, and you want to make that piece more interesting, you need to start creating a story around it, right? And so,
Mm.
because else, if you just put it there, you look at it, you're like, yeah, just standing there is okay, but how can we give it more depth, right? And then
Yeah.
this is literally how we wrote everything, because when for example we were creating content like animation, what are you going to make animation about if you don't have any fundamentals or basis, right?
Yeah.
You
Why
can
are
just
you even bringing something that
yeah,
would
you can
make
just
no
start
sense?
creating, but it
Yeah.
has no depth. So we're like, okay, if you want to if you want to do an animation of 15 seconds, yeah, what is it going to be about? What universe is it in? But
Hmm.
even to define what universe it is in, you need to come up with a whole universe, because else
Yeah.
you can say it is in a garden. Okay, it's kind of lame. Like there's many gardens. It's nothing special, right? But if it's in a garden that is changing colors every 5 minutes, it's like, okay, that's
Mm.
it's kind of interesting. But why is it changing colors?
Why is it changing?
Now
Yeah.
we need to come up with a reason for it, right? It's changing because time is not going. It's actually changing every day, but the place where it is in is not 24 hours in a day. It's 5 minutes, and every 5 minutes a new day is, right. You're like,
Yeah.
that's an interesting concept, right? That's something that I would find interesting, and what
Yeah. Yeah.
happens more then, like, yeah, a tree grows within 4 days. You're like, wow, okay,
Mm.
so that's actually every 20 minutes there's a new tree. I'm just spitballing like crazy right now, but
Yeah.
you want to
But
make it.
that's what the problem solving that you were talking about comes into play, right? Because
Yeah.
whenever you add more depth to the storytelling that you're bringing, there's something new that you need to solve, right? Because now
Yes.
you need to, if you're asking yourself a question about like why, clearly the people who will be invested or interested in whatever you are building, they will ask the same question, or even questions that you're not even thinking about. So you kind of need to be thinking ahead of that.
Yeah.
Um, which I think I find it really, really fascinating. I'm definitely gonna check out that masterclass
It's
for
good.
sure.
Very good.
In
Yeah.
this case, the guys that are in charge of that creative direction and the storytelling, it's you and your brothers, correct?
It's my brothers, to be honest. Like
Right. Okay.
I jump in sometimes, and give some
And
add
kind of give you
input.
feedback. Yeah.
Yeah, I've learned a lot from them actually. So everything that I've just been saying is all that I've learned from them, like these
Wow.
last
Okay.
times, right? But it's really them doing all that work. So I honestly I get bored usually when they're busy with it. So I'm like jumping in like 10 minutes in the meeting, and I'm like, I'm leaving, guys, go do other stuff.
Lol. That's so cool, though. I mean, working with your brothers, how have you find that? Because you guys do a bunch of different things, right? Even
Yeah,
before, like you guys were, in different, industries. But now that
yeah.
you guys are working together, did you even work before, like together, like before jumping into NFTs? How that's relationship though?
Yeah, well, when I was 15, I actually quit. 15, 16, I quit high school, and I joined them in the company. They had a video production company in graphic design in that
Okay,
time.
so they're
Um,
older than you, right? You're the
yeah, they're older
youngest
than me.
brother.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
They were doing that already for a couple of years, and then I joined in, and we had a bunch of interns. We had an office, and we were there. I was learning a lot from them, and yeah, I think a couple of years in, they yeah, kind of, I don't know, I lost passion for what we were doing, because the whole reason in the first place they started the video production company was to earn a bit of money, but then really create their own like movie, and maybe like proper like a
Gotcha.
Hollywood movie, like that was the dream. And
Yep.
then
Yep.
starting to take on jobs, graphic design, then we got like a commercial for the television, got paid like 50 grand for it. And like, we bought like
Mm.
this, the first Red, back then was like Red One,
Yeah. Yeah. The big
crazy
one.
revolutionary camera back then, and that
Yep.
nowadays it's like nothing probably anymore, but it was the first
Yeah.
digital camera that could film like, huge, like
Yeah.
crazy
Yeah.
resolution. And we bought it for like 30 grand or something. We're like, we're
Damn,
going to
that
do
was
this.
expensive back then. Far out.
Yeah, yeah, it was crazy. But then, yeah, passion just got lost because we got so troubled into like the corporate world, like let's make money and build a
Mm.
business, and
Working
started to
for the
feel blank.
man kind of way. Yeah.
Yeah, yes,
Mm.
exactly. And then, yeah, we split up. So I went to Spain. My brother kept on drawing anime. My other brother built like a course business, and went a lot heavy in design and branding, and a bit of coaching and such. And I did the marketing agency. And so, yeah, we split up, and we didn't have that much contact even over the years, right? And so I was
Okay.
obviously in Spain, and everybody started to get a family, and so yeah.
Yeah.
Then 3 years ago, we basically reunited for the first time after a very long time. We were like, it brought us back together, this
Yeah.
bit, right? And it's funny
And that's
because
and that's when your dad had the health issues, right? That's when you guys went came back together.
yes, around the same time, yes,
Okay.
yes, yes, around the same time, yeah, yeah. It was also another big event actually. Flew out to the Netherlands, was there with them.
Mm.
Um, And what was interesting is actually when we when I met John, he got us this NBA player like a Damian Lillard to do some art pieces for them, right?
Okay.
And that would have been actually quite a big business for us. And I remember that he told us like, okay, we did this assignment for him. It took us about a month, like 4 crazy high quality art pieces, right? Like really good
Mm.
stuff. It never got out into the market, sadly. And then it was like,
Mm.
okay, let's get the next assignment. And this was like, wait a minute, are we going to go again doing work for other companies and people, or are we going to build our own universe,
Yes,
right?
exactly. Yes, yes,
What are we
yes,
going to
yes.
do? And we're like, yeah, but this one can earn so much money, and we're like, guys, this is the reason we left business behind. Let's go with our
Yeah.
gut. Let's build our own universe, right? And so,
Mm.
yeah, luckily we went we went this
Yeah,
direction.
you yeah, amazing. Oh, I love that. I love when you said like, are we really gonna be doing the same stuff that we said that we
Yes,
weren't gonna do? Let's focus on the stuff that we want to bring to life.
yes, we
And
wanted to do that movie, right? Now
yeah,
it's time.
exactly right. Bring back the dreams, and now we can,
Yes,
bring them via NFTs,
against all
blockchains,
odds, man.
against the odds. Exactly right. Um, the other question though, like, why anime? Why did you go for anime in particular? Is it because one of your brothers is very very good at designing anime art and shit, or is there anything, something even deeper than that? Like, even what's your favorite anime as well? Like, does that have some sort of implication with how the upcoming collection would look like? Some Easter eggs related to that? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, good question. I think initially it started out with my brother was just full on in the anime space. So he was on all the anime conventions. He was having his
Okay.
own booth there, right? It was really in the anime business and industry. And so we're just like, let's expand on his style. But anime has just been a big thing my whole life. Like yeah, like Naruto, for example, has completely changed the trajectory of my life. It's
Mhm.
where I really learned about empathy, where I learned how to, even work past my traumas and stuff from the past.
Yeah.
It really changed me. I actually named my son Naruto, right? So,
Is that right? Oh wow.
uh,
Scott.
and so yeah, it has just been such a big meaning, and I think there is like the type of storytelling that goes in anime,
Mm.
it goes hand in hand with our vision, because final
Okay.
Basu, like the underlying message, or the if I look at Facebook, like what does Facebook do? It's like bringing people together, right? Forming
Hmm.
connections. You could say
Yep.
they're a tech startup, etc. But
Yeah.
what does final Basu do? It's actually making personal growth entertaining. That's actually
Okay.
our core pillar, like our core underlying drive,
Yeah.
right? And against all
Personal
odds,
growth, entertaining. Okay.
making it entertainment through storytelling,
Mm.
right? That's
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
our universe you have these growth paths where people are going on a journey to learn final bosses against the odds. Like Final Basu is our first IP. I could imagine, and if Final Basu becomes this $1 billion success, that one day we might do another IP with a different personal growth story there, right?
Right.
Um,
But always personal growth at the core of what you guys are building.
Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
anime,
Love
I
that.
would
I love
say,
that.
is the number one medium for that. Every single
Mm.
anime has like it's very Japanese, like the style, right? That there's a lot of personal growth lessons in every
Yeah.
single anime. And so it's just the
Yeah. There's
perfect,
a lot of setbacks, a lot of,
yes, growth,
um,
overcoming
yeah,
of
correct.
obstacles.
Overcoming a bunch of stuff.
Yeah,
Yes,
yes,
yes, yes.
yes. And so it's just the perfect medium actually for us all along, right? We just didn't knew it early on. And so
Yep.
um yeah,
So would
yeah.
you say Naruto is your favorite anime? Um,
It's
I mean,
definitely
even your
one that
son is
we
named
use
Naruto,
most.
or
Yeah, yeah. Well, my
okay.
daughter is named Nami, so after One Piece,
Oh,
one of the main characters in One Piece. So
wow, look at that, guys. Like, if you want someone who's building an anime NFT project, all right? You want someone like Kev, right? Who's really deep into it. That they not just, because we've seen multiple anime collections and such, but you don't really get to know why they're actually choosing anime as their main
yeah,
medium to bring, the stuff that they want to bring to life. And then
yeah.
now we know the name of your son and the
Man,
name of your daughter related to anime. Dude,
yeah,
this
and
guy
anime
is
is just
deep
so,
into the anime trenches,
yeah,
100%.
totally, totally. Yeah, it's so bound. I don't know how to say that in English. Like it has no boundaries, right? It's the same.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I would say even about 3D, like
Mm,
you can create anything. Like you're not limited to the physical world in creations, and so you can just come
correct.
up. Let's do a final boss that's like this huge monster robot. Like it's very easy, right? Like
Yeah.
you can just do
Yeah.
it. So that's pretty cool as well. But yeah, no, definitely.
That's so cool though. So now that you have well, we had the final Bosu collection, which are 555. Now what you are bringing to abstract, right? Like both of us are building an abstract. I would say that, especially because we've been in spaces together, like you know that we resonate a lot. We have a bunch of similarities. But the reason why you chose abstract, why would you say is the main reason why you guys chose abstract in the first place? And what are you expecting to bring with this? Because it will be this new IP, right? It's not even going to be related to those hand-drawn PFPs. This is sort of
No.
like your kind of like your OG pass, if you want to call it that way. I don't know if
Yeah,
I can put it in better words,
yeah,
but this new IP, I don't know if you've shared the total supply for that, or
not
if
yet.
you. Okay, we're not getting that alpha, guys. Sorry, I did try,
Yeah,
yeah, no, like, yeah. Tell us a little bit about that IP. I'm very, because it's a lot, right? Like getting to, especially for someone who's very new to getting to know Final Bosu.
yeah,
Um, but like they kind of like the TLDR, hey, I'm bringing Final Bosu, this new IP, this new anime. Now we know why you're bringing anime as your main medium. Why abstract? Why? Yes, why? It kind of feels that way, right?
yeah. I think abstract. I think there's a couple of things. Like one is just the team behind it. I think I'm very bullish on, and so I kind of
Mm,
trust that whatever they will build, it will be good with the right intentions, right? And
yep.
I kind of feel like I want to line up with that, especially now. I have a feeling like it's time, sort of, for the new type of generation NFT companies that are starting to exist, right? Like back in the days, like you had a lot of speculation, and that was the only thing really NFTs were based on. And I think now it will be a lot more company buildings. And so I just feel very aligned with everything that Luca and the team are doing, right? And so I feel like there's so much alignment in values and vision there that, yeah, I just trust them, and
Mm,
I just think it will be a long term good bet to bet on them. And so I think that's a big part. I think another big part is that we are very much focused on actually building for consumers, right? Like
yep.
everything that you've seen, like all our main characters and everything, you could say they're for Web3, but they're just as much or even more for actually the anime fans, right? And so,
Yeah, correct. It's. I mean, you're utilizing blockchain tech. But in reality,
yes,
like, I mean, yes, obviously we want people who are part of this industry, but when we think in broader terms, we're
yes,
thinking about, in your case, like your niche is anime, right? Like there's a
totally.
bunch of people in the world who truly loves anime, and this could be one of the new IPs that they can, resonate with.
Yeah, and I
And
would even
what
say
better way than, what better way than abstract and the consumer crypto narrative to bring
exactly,
that to life? Yeah.
and even broader, like tiny bit of alpha, I would say, is think outside of anime and think personal growth, right? Because
Mm,
our storyline is there's a lot of elements. For example, the growth path definitely doesn't have to confine to anime, and so
yeah.
there's a lot that we could do with that in terms of platforms and personal growth products and things like that that we see in front of us. And so, yeah,
Mm,
it will become very clear like once we start releasing those kind of things. But
yep.
yeah,
Yep.
there's, and I think abstract also is perfect for those kind of things. I think in the end of the day, if I think of app store and applications, I think
Mm,
that's how I look at abstract a bit, right? But then a blockchain powered one where
yeah.
also get the elements of Web3 culture and technology. And so,
Yeah. And
yeah,
the cool thing is that people wouldn't even know. They're not gonna know that there's
yes,
blockchain behind that, right?
yeah,
Like I love it when you said that, right? Like this, when Finn mentioned that in one of the many spaces, it really clicked, right? Like not
yeah,
just for us as founders and builders on abstract, but for the people who've been paying attention. It's such an easy sale, right? To
yeah,
just explain it that way, that this is an app store powered by blockchain tech, where you're gonna be able to interact with so many different products. And
yeah,
out of those, I don't know, hundreds and maybe thousands of projects that will be there, and you can have fun, and then you don't have to go anywhere else because it's meant to be this sort of Disney
yeah.
free, right?
And a couple of those will succeed really big time, right? I think,
Yeah.
especially, I think gaming is a very interesting and an easy concept that I think
Mm.
if you look at it in terms of funnel, like onboarding people into Web3 and things like that, I think what if
It's so good, hey.
amazing. Oh man, I need to get my brothers to see this. Um, if if you think of Web3 gaming, like if
Mm,
somebody would imagine, you open the app store, you go and play a game, you have fun, right? You're
mm.
logged in, you have fun. Poof, you suddenly you collect something like you normally would in any game, but now it's an NFT. And then
Yeah.
you're walking through the town in the game, and maybe there's like a marketplace, just like in World of Warcraft was there when I was playing that when I was younger, and I want to sell this item, right? Because I can do
Yeah.
that there. But wait a minute, $10. Why can I receive $10 for this item? What?
Yeah.
Like, is this real $10? And you take it and boom, there's $10 in my credit card account. What the hell is
It's
this?
insane.
Right?
Yeah, correct. Yep, yep,
Like,
yep.
that's the moment people are going to be like, I want more of this, right? Oh, okay,
Mm.
so you guys want to be involved with NFTs and blockchain, right?
Yeah.
But you
Yeah,
guys
so
hated
you
it.
do want to be. Yeah, it's
Yes.
it's interesting when it's gonna click that way. For a lot of people, like we saw that with even with Reddit, right? Do you remember when there were a bunch of NFTs that they didn't even know that they were NFTs? and suddenly we changed the narrative to,
Yes.
instead of calling them NFTs, they were digital collectibles. And there's a bunch of
Yes.
Reddit, forums that they hate NFTs, and suddenly they had digital collectibles.
Yes.
Same is going to happen with gaming. I agree with that. I mean, the gaming industry is massive, right? Like even more the hyper casual gaming, it's massive. That's why I mean, that's why we're very excited to bring something like Plooshy Island
Yeah.
to abstract, right? Like a hyper casual game that will be powered by blockchain, and people won't even know that, right? Like they don't need to know that. They just need to know it's a fun game. That yeah, there might be rewards for people, but that's not the main goal. It's just for you guys to have fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, pretty cool stuff. How do you guys, because you're building your IP, right? Um, how do you feel when there's some sort of cross IP movement? Like, do you think there might be a possibility to see collaboration with your IP, with other IPs, not just here in Web3, but obviously it's kind of like knocking on wood, right? Like you and I, we are thinking that if we get to the point that both, whether the Plooshies or Final Boss, who will get to a very big audience, like you mentioned a lot of time, like this is a media franchise, and then they can license my IP, so some other big guys can do the stuff that we can do as a company.
Yeah.
But before that, like yeah, with the cross IP, because when I think about the guys, the stuff that you're building, right, and I feel about maybe other anime projects in this space, or many projects that are not building anything related to anime, but maybe there could be something. Maybe we can see a plushie, right, on your storytelling, or we can bring stuff from your side to our side of things. How do you feel like? Do you think it's the way to go? It's a good thing to do.
Yeah,
What are your
100%. I think when it makes sense for sure. We're actually
mm,
already working on a bunch of stuff for straight away for after mint, that
mm,
we'll reveal later on. But I think it's extremely important. Ultimately, you want to tap into each other's audiences, and you also want to
yeah,
make use of each other's expertise, right? I
yeah,
think in the end of the day, yeah, like the licensing industry is fully built up on this. Like the
yeah,
turtles only became the turtles because of that, and
mm,
so and it's maybe not even per se only cross IP because it's well, and in a way, it's always IP, right? If the
mm,
turtles works with Lego and they create toys, it's the Lego IP, it's the turtles IP. But even the
yeah,
other way around, when you have something like Plooshies and you have a game world that you have in there, it will be awesome if you could play as a final boss.
mm. Oh no, did
Really
we
like
lose
that.
him? Are you still there, Cole? Oh,
Hey,
yeah, you're back. You're back.
okay. I think I don't know if it was my connection or yeah, I think we're
Yeah, but
good.
now you're back. You're back. Good,
Okay,
good,
cool.
good.
Yeah, I was saying that. Yeah, no, 100%. Like I love that. Where is this with again? Well, I guess Marvel does this, right? But it's anyway under the same umbrella. But I
Mm,
love when those different IPs are suddenly coming into each other's worlds, right?
yeah,
I've even always wondered when like Goku from Dragon Ball would fight, Naruto, like who's gonna win?
yeah,
Like general, it's
yeah,
very much fun if you have an audience that loves both IPs and then you see them
yeah,
together. Like,
yeah.
why not? I feel like, in the end of the
I mean,
day,
I guess we sorry about that. But I guess we get to see that a
yeah,
little bit in gaming, right? Like we
yeah,
get to see that with Smash Brothers, for instance, right? We see a
yeah,
bunch of different IPs
Fortnite,
in one universe. Fortnite, for instance,
yeah,
which is pretty cool. Like you, you never. I guess a few years back, we really didn't think this was possible, but when they introduced that,
yeah, I love it.
um, it's like why people didn't do that before. Like it's just so
Yeah,
cool, and like yeah.
that's what I love about Web3 because in the end of the day, I think the culture starts shaping it from the beginning like that, right? Like
Mm,
I've always, if you can truly dream as a kid, right, and you let go of money and all of those limitations that we put there for ourselves, like what world would you create, right? That's
mm,
always like an interesting one because I feel like there's so many boundaries and limits that we put on ourselves at some point, especially with bigger corporations and
right.
systems that are getting in place, right? Like why I've never gotten the idea of why Harry Potter doesn't take like the top 10 fans and just give them $1 million. Why not? Just do it. You guys have billions of dollars there.
Yeah,
Just
you. It's like you don't need the money anymore. Just
Just
trickle down that fucking money to your, your core supporters, and
yeah, they're shouting
that's
it off
also
the
one of
roof.
it.
They're telling all their friends. They're wearing your clothes everywhere they go. They're like marketing material for you. They're advertising it the
Exactly
hell
right.
out of you.
Yep,
It's
yep.
kind of fun. Why not? You know?
And it's very exciting to think about that, the potential that Web3 IPs can bring to the core supporters, because it's still very niche. Like even the communities of even big projects, in broader terms, it's not really that big. Obviously, the dream and the goal is for us, for the big projects, to get to those levels, right? Get to the Marvel kind of level, to Disney, to the Harry Potters of this world. But then the opportunities of licensing your IP, and maybe being able to actually reward that people who are
Yeah,
supporting the project. Um, I think there will come a time that it will click. It's clicking with us, obviously, because I mean, quote unquote, we're still early.
yeah,
But when it clicks with those big companies, we'll see how this is gonna play out. But there's just so many really cool stuff happening in terms of licensing IP.
yeah,
We've seen that with Overpass. Story Protocol is
yeah,
putting a bunch of effort into that.
yeah.
I recently had a call with a good friend of mine called Nigel from Mycelium Network. They're pushing that as well. um yeah, cool stuff, not gonna lie.
Top stuff, man.
But yeah,
Always,
dude,
always
Kev,
cooking.
yeah, let's keep cooking. Kev, is there anything else you would like to say to people who are what? I think we have around 13,000 people, 1,300 people, sorry about that.
Oh
uh
no, I
At
was
least we
hoping.
didn't hit 2K. I was hoping for 2K,
Me
because
too.
I really do want to get my that tattoo.
We
Oh,
just
you know what? Sorry, this is my mind working. But also I was having a call with Ruthie, right, from Surgeons.
yes,
Um,
yes.
I was one, dude. I forgot. If Ruthie, if you're watching this, I'm so sorry. Because he was like, "Oh, maybe I can jump into the call with you guys in the live
Ah,
stream," because he told me that he was helping you. But I want to bring Ruthie just later on. Yeah, sorry, it's just my mind. Sometimes my mind goes places. But yeah,
I love
dude,
Ruby.
Kev,
I love Ruby.
I just love this comment. But like I said, like if you have anything else to say to our community, to your community, is there anything gonna be related to Plooshies final bursaries that maybe some alpha you don't want to share just yet? But
Yeah, no, for sure. First off, thanks everybody for tuning in. I think I'm always just so grateful. Yeah, for all the support. It's just been insane. Yeah, it's going to be a fun ride. In the next couple of days, we're about to release something pretty cool for the people to
nice.
enjoy, to get involved. Like a mini white list game experience to learn more about Final Basu. So
I
it's gonna
love the idea of a mini game to secure a whitelist spot. There's nothing better than that, honestly. Yeah, cool.
yeah, it's good, man. A bit of education there, and so yeah,
Mm,
and yeah, I love what you guys do with Plooshies. I can't wait for the evolution. I know you guys are true builders as well, and I just respect the hell out of it. Iterate, 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 and if you just keep
yeah,
going, in the end, it's going to be a big success. So yeah, I just love it. I can't wait to live together on Abstract, to be there hand in hand, to support each other, and
yeah.
to keep building these
I,
brands out.
I think yeah, when you mentioned that, right, like you've seen that, like the support and love that we've seen with so many different projects and builders and founders that are bringing the stuff to Abstract is like unlike anything I've ever seen in a very very long time. Because then you can, I hate kind of like the transactional kind of thing that mostly happens in the space. Like you guys get to see that, we get to see that, especially when there's a mint coming, right? Like the
Yeah,
transactional whitelist collab, and that's it. Like it's just very transactional. But when you get to go a little bit deeper into that, you get to even ask them for feedback, like for people, right? Like, hey, how
yeah,
do you feel about the stuff that we're bringing? Hey, you're also a founder, I want to see your perspective. I need your support. Maybe we can support each other, find ways that maybe there's a gap there that maybe you can help us, maybe there's a gap that we can help you. I've never seen that in a very long time, and
yeah,
that's why it makes me very 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 bullish on on Abstract, because instead of thinking yes the competition and mantra and stuff is like we all want to win, right? Because we
yeah.
are part of this big big family which is Abstract. obviously supported by Igloo Inc. and Luca and the rest of the team. But now it's part of, now it's our time to shine, right? They
Yeah.
gave us all the tools and all what they unlocked all the doors that we needed to unlock for us to be able to shine. And what I love to see is that they did that for us. And now we, as projects and founders and builders, we're focusing on supporting each other. And I think that's pretty epic. I just wanted to say that I think it's yeah, I love that. It's pretty epic.
Yeah, same. My last question is, when are we producing this one as a real life plushie?
Cole will send it to you once it's fully rigged, and we'll wanna be. Let's work on something because I do wanna bring these honorary plushies that we're bringing.
I
Perhaps it
love
will
it.
become an opportunity to see them on Plushie Island. Perhaps it can be Kev as you explaining the lore of Final Bursu,
It
or
will be
maybe
epic.
they could be a 3D rigged asset from your side that people can see on Plushie Island because that's the goal, right? Like obviously first is the plushies and then the guests who don't own any plushie, but they will be able to play as plushies but naked, quote unquote, no traits. And then you
Yeah.
will be able to see AI driven NPCs
Yeah.
giving, explaining the lore of specific projects or maybe talking themselves as the founder of the project. But obviously the goal is for them, for, people who are holding specific collections to use them on Plushie Island. So yeah, it's just this big community hub, this, fun hub for everyone. And yeah, we would love to see Kev, whether it be the plushified version of it, or Final Borsu for sure. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
something I would love to do. And this is a way of plushifying the space. Um, like, Cole, like honestly, he's just so bloody talented. I wouldn't be able to do the stuff that he does.
Yeah, he's a
Like
good.
I feel like you feel the same about your brothers, because they're so very good at what they do, like creative
You're
geniuses.
lucky
And
with Cole. Yeah, for sure. Great
yeah.
job, Cole. Really love it. It's funny how fast yeah, you did this, and how it resembles of Sandy. So I'm sure I was just texting to my brothers to see if they were there. Maybe they're asleep. But, no, one of my brothers was, that's Sandy in the
Nice.
WhatsApp.
Oh, let's go. Well, hello to you, brother.
No,
But yeah, this has been fucking amazing. I just love that abstract coded. We keep bringing, very interesting people in the industry. I just love to have this casual convo, honestly, like just getting to know you. We got to know a bunch of stuff that I don't know if you even share that somewhere else. But I just love that. It's just about
same
having
brother.
fun, supporting each other, and I'm so excited for the stuff that you guys are bringing to Abstract. I guess we have to stay tuned related to the total supply, kind of like when mint kind of stuff. But just so you know, myself, the rest of the team, and the Plooshies community will be there for you, supporting you all night, all day, all night. So
Thank you, brother.
thanks for your time. I truly appreciate it. I know that you've been, like you've been doing it for the past few years, grinding spaces and meetings and perhaps live streams like this one. So thank you for your time. I truly appreciate it.
I appreciate you, brother. Thanks for setting this all up. And Cole, thanks. Appreciate you. Looks amazing. Very excited about this Sandy plushie.
Yeah, we'll send it your way once it's fully rigged. And yeah,
So
without that, guys, thanks for tuning in. We hit 1,300. We were short 700 people. Let's see who's gonna make it there. Remember, if we ever hit 2,000, maybe we need to bring everyone. Hey, Kev, we need to bring every single one of us.
I think we have
You
to
know,
do it, man.
I
Yeah,
think we
we
need
should.
to bring, VQ, Dan from Moonshippers, like all the guys from Kind of Sapiens. The guys that are in that Telegram group chat.
We should.
Do
We should.
this massive live stream with all of us, and
Maybe you can get a tattoo artist at the same time there, and then we already plan ahead that you can live tattoo it as well.
you know what? One of the main co-founders, Victor, he went to Bali not that long ago because his tattoo
Hmm,
artist is from Bali, and he
okay.
actually got like two massive new two or three of them. I don't even know, but one of them is his plushie. Um, it's really cool. If you go and check his
I'm
Twitter
gonna check
page,
that.
you get to see that. So if not if, but when that happens, I'm probably gonna go with his tattoo artist and get myself my plushie done there. But
I love that,
yeah,
man.
guys. But yeah, we should probably think about that. Instead of a mega space, we can do a mega live stream with a bunch of our friends and people building on abstract and shit. But yeah, anyways, guys, thanks again for your time. I know that you guys could have been somewhere else. So yeah, thank you guys. Thanks for your time. Thank you, Cole. You absolute legend. You never fail. You're just so fucking good. And thank you, Kev. I'll catch you on the next one, guys. See ya.
Sure. Thanks.
Thanks, guys. Nice to meet
Cheers.
you, Kev.
Nice to meet you, Cole. Thanks.
See
Good
ya.
night.